love nothing, because if you love me, you wouldn't be online doing all this. This ain't love, sweetie, and I'm gonna get you all the way together. Because when I was younger, I couldn't say nothing about it. But don't you ever speak on my mama, and that's on God. You can catch me, I'm 18 now, because I tried to be nice and I wasn't gonna say nothing. Tell that old lady go take care of her 3. She can't even watch her own 3 by herself. She need my dad to be there. She need a nanny. She got a whole nanny. She can't even, you lay down and have 3, but you can't take care of them.
The moment Emani Richardson opened her mouth, Atlanta shook. For years, people had seen the quiet daughter of Lil Scrappy and Erica Dixon stay in the background, smiling on red carpets, showing up for family scenes, never saying too much. But the silence had been mistaken for weakness. Because when Emani Richardson finally spoke, she spoke with the kind of fire that cut through every green screen confessional, every reunion chair, every fake reality show storyline that tried to cover the truth. She looked straight into the camera and told Bambi exactly what fans had been whispering for years. "Don't you ever speak on my mama. I'm 18 now. You can catch me." And just like that, the entire love and hip-hop world was turned upside down. The shade didn't come from a cast member chasing storylines. It came from a child who had grown up watching her mother Erica Dixon be dragged, disrespected, and attacked on television. Emani Richardson wasn't playing a role. She was speaking her truth. And the truth was that Bambi was not the fearless fighter she pretended to be on screen. According to Emani Richardson, when the cameras weren't rolling and the lights weren't on, Bambi was silent. She only tough online. In person she quiet. She don't say nothing to me. She don't say nothing to my mama. She don't bust a grape. That one line alone sent the internet into a frenzy. Fans clipped it, memed it, dragged it across Instagram and TikTok. The phrase "bust a grape" became the new anthem for exposing fake toughness. But Emani Richardson didn't stop at shade. She pulled receipts. She said Bambi had been lying about her age for years, pretending to be younger to match the image next to Lil Scrappy, but in reality pushing her 40s. She's 42. She'd been lying about her age forever. "My daddy didn't even find out her real age until they went to Jamaica in 2021. The details hit like daggers because they weren't general insults. They were private truths. The kind of truths that came from inside the household, from years of watching and observing. Suddenly, the reality TV act that Bambi had built started to crack, and fans began to see the insecurity behind the bravado. And then Emani Richardson attacked the core that no reality TV edit could hide: parenting. She accused Bambi of being absent, of letting nannies do the raising, of only showing up when it looked good for cameras. "You don't even be with your kids. You always with a nanny." Let's be for real. The only event that lady came to this year was me running for homecoming queen. She didn't come to no cheer games, no nothing. That's not love. It was a painful contrast. Because while Erica Dixon had always been the visible, present mother, standing—
Stop playing, stop lying. Like, stop trying to sneak this. Stop trying to sneak this. Ain't nothing wrong with y'all age. Ain't nothing wrong with being 42, but don't lie about it, trying to keep up with my mama. You've been trying to keep up with my mama. When my mama bought her store, what you did? Bought your store. She didn't even buy it. She rented. Sit down.
Standing front row, clapping the loudest. Bambi had allegedly been missing, and coming from the daughter herself, it was impossible to ignore. Emani Richardson doubled down, calling out petty behavior online, the unfollow on Instagram, the shady posts. "You unfollowed me before you made that post, trying to be petty. You don't love me. You don't love nothing. You love the fact you got with my daddy." The fans who had suspected tension between Bambi and Emani Richardson finally had confirmation. This wasn't speculation. It wasn't gossip. It was spoken straight from the child who lived it. What made this even stronger was how Erica Dixon's name was woven into every drag. Emani Richardson made it clear that her mother had always been the standard, the foundation, the real one. "My mama was always the first choice. Don't play." Always, she compared Erica Dixon's accomplishments to Bambi's, pointing out that her mother had a shop bought in cash, stability built with her own 2 hands, while Bambi was renting, trying to keep up, trying to copy. "Stop trying to keep up with my mama." It wasn't just shade. It was a daughter lifting her mother's crown in the middle of a public storm. And then came the final blow, the viral line that no one could shake. Emani Richardson warned Bambi directly, "Every time you mention my mama, I'ma chew you up." It was a promise, not a threat. A daughter standing as a shield for Erica Dixon, making it clear that dragging her mother's name would never go unanswered again. Fans went wild, turning the line into clips, gifs, captions. Emani Richardson had officially become the voice of the unfiltered truth. While this war of words exploded online, the silence of Lil Scrappy grew heavier. Fans started tagging him nonstop, demanding answers. Why wasn't Lil Scrappy defending his daughter? Why wasn't he speaking up as Emani Richardson was forced to fight battles with her stepmother? His silence was now louder than any comment. Lil Scrappy was caught in a chokehold between the loyalty to his daughter and her mother Erica Dixon, and the collapsing marriage with Bambi. The feud had grown bigger than shade. It had grown bigger than a petty Instagram unfollow. This was about respect. This was about loyalty. This was about a daughter who had reached her breaking point and refused to be quiet anymore. Emani Richardson had lived through years of tension. Years of watching Bambi take shots at her mama. Years of being told to be quiet while adults played out their drama on TV. But now she was grown, and she was letting the world know that she would not be disrespected. And neither would Erica Dixon. By the time the rant ended, the internet knew one thing for sure: Bambi's tough reality TV act had been shredded by the very person she tried to silence. And if Bambi thought the storm was going to die quietly, she was wrong. Because the next voice about to enter the battlefield wasn't just fans online. It was Erica Dixon herself. The moment Erica Dixon stepped into the conversation, the tone shifted. For weeks, people had only heard the fiery voice of Emani Richardson, the daughter who refused to let her mother be disrespected by Bambi. But when Erica Dixon herself decided to speak, it became clear that this wasn't just about petty shade on Instagram or green screen confessionals. This was about a mother standing by her child, about a family line that could not be broken. No matter how much reality TV tried to twist the narrative, Erica Dixon didn't come out swinging wild insults. She came with,
You're childish. Stop speaking on my folks. If you don't like my mom, stop speaking on her. The only reason why my mom even said anything because you was trying to be funny. And I wasn't even trying to be funny, y'all. On God, I wasn't trying to be funny. And if she loved me and care about me the way that she do, and if she knew me, when you love a person, you're supposed to know that if she knew me, then she would know that I wasn't trying to be funny. Because guess what? My mama don't even play about me being disrespectful. If I was being disrespectful on that live, my mama would have for sure came to me and been like, hey, you need to get yourself together. But I wasn't even being disrespectful.
She came with a calmness that made every word cut deeper. She said she was proud of her daughter. She reminded the world that Emani Richardson had grown into a woman who knew the difference between respect and disrespect, loyalty and betrayal. And as Erica Dixon spoke, fans knew that her pride was not just about school achievements or milestones. It was about strength, about the courage to stand up when someone tried to drag their family name through the mud. For Bambi, this was the worst-case scenario. For years, she had tried to paint Erica Dixon as bitter, as the ex who could never move on, as the outsider still clinging to Lil Scrappy. But now, Bambi was being dragged by the one person she had underestimated, the child she thought she could dismiss. And the worst part? The child had the full support of her mother. Emani Richardson and Erica Dixon weren't just mother and daughter anymore, they were allies. And in this war of words, allies meant everything. Fans began reposting clips of Erica Dixon smiling, praising her daughter, while blogs layered it with Emani's most viral lines. The narrative was shifting, and Bambi was losing ground with every passing day. Meanwhile, the silence of Lil Scrappy became impossible to ignore. For years, viewers had watched Lil Scrappy navigate between the two most important women in his life, his ex, Erica Dixon, who had been there from the very beginning, and his wife, Bambi, who had fought to keep his loyalty. But now, the balance was destroyed. Because at the center of this feud was not just a woman fighting, it was his daughter, Emani Richardson. Fans filled the comments. Why isn't Lil Scrappy defending Emani? Why is he letting Bambi and Emani go at it? Where's the father in this? The pressure was mounting, and the more he tried to stay quiet, the more people saw his silence as weakness. It wasn't just about being neutral. It looked like betrayal. Emani Richardson had already made it clear that she would not allow anyone to speak on her mama without consequence. Every time Bambi posted something slick, every time she whispered something petty, Emani Richardson answered back. And Erica Dixon, who had once been accused of fighting her own battles too loudly, was now letting her daughter's voice lead, stepping in only to guide and affirm. That combination made the feud even stronger. It wasn't just one woman against another anymore. It was a mother and daughter standing against a stepmother who could not match their bond. As for Bambi, the walls were closing in. Her green screen interviews and social media jabs no longer held the same weight. Because Emani Richardson had exposed her as quiet in real life, the diss track she tried to throw toward Lil Scrappy had become a joke online, with fans mocking the low streams and replaying Emani's words. She only got 11 streams. What was supposed to be a show of power had turned into another punchline. Another reason for fans to call her desperate. And in the background, the love and loyalty between Erica Dixon and Emani Richardson shone brighter. While the silence of Lil Scrappy cast a shadow of doubt, the more Erica Dixon praised her daughter, the more the spotlight shifted. People began to say that Emani Richardson was carrying herself, better than the adults in the situation. At just 18, she was speaking with more maturity and more honesty than the woman who claimed to be her stepmother. And with every word, Bambi looked smaller. By the end of the second wave of interviews, one truth was undeniable. Emani Richardson had taken control of the narrative. Erica Dixon stood proudly behind her. Bambi was cornered, and Lil Scrappy was being dragged into the fire whether he wanted to be or not. This wasn't just a feud anymore. This was a family war, and the world knew that the storm was far from over. Because the silence of Lil Scrappy could not last forever, the question was no longer whether he would speak, but when and when he did, whose side would he be on? When the silence finally broke, it came from Lil Scrappy himself, and it wasn't the way anyone expected. For weeks, Emani Richardson had been defending her mother, dragging Bambi, and holding her ground against anyone who dared to disrespect Erica Dixon. The internet was waiting for Lil Scrappy to roar in his daughter's defense, to call out the woman who had been shading his family for years. But instead, when Lil Scrappy spoke, his words fell somewhere in the middle. He tried to calm the storm, saying that everyone needed to stop, that the drama was hurting the kids, that he didn't want to choose sides. But the truth was that his attempt at peace sounded like betrayal. Because neutrality in a war is still a choice, and in this war, his daughter needed him to stand tall. Emani Richardson didn't let her father's half-hearted words silence her. She reminded everyone that her loyalty would always be with Erica Dixon, the woman who raised her, the woman who showed up for every game, every event, every milestone. And she repeated again, for the world to hear, that Bambi was only loud online but silent in person. The fact that Lil Scrappy couldn't look his daughter in the eye and say the same made fans turn on him. The hashtags began, stand with Emani, protect your daughter, Scrappy pick a side. Suddenly, the rapper who once called himself the Prince of Crunk was looking like a father who couldn't protect his own child. Meanwhile, Bambi was cornered. Her image as a green screen warrior had already been ripped apart by Emani Richardson. Her diss track had flopped. Her attempts at being petty with unfollows and shady captions had backfired. Every time she posted, fans flooded her comments with Emani's viral lines. "Just a grape. That lady. Every time you mention my mama, I'ma chew you up." The shade wasn't just coming from the daughter anymore, it was coming from the culture. Meme pages dragged her daily. Blogs replayed the clips. Even people outside the love and hip-hop audience were laughing at how badly she had lost control. But the one person who refused to laugh was Erica Dixon. While Emani Richardson delivered shade, Erica Dixon delivered pride. She made it clear that she wasn't raising her daughter to chase clout. She said she raised Emani Richardson to tell the truth, to stand up for herself, and to honor her family. And every time Bambi tried to twist the narrative, Erica Dixon would quietly remind the world that her daughter was thriving, doing well in school, respected in college, admired by people who met her outside of TV. That quiet dignity was louder than any insult. It reminded people that while Bambi was busy being petty, Erica Dixon was busy raising a queen. The tension exploded again when Emani Richardson doubled down. She said point blank that Bambi never loved her, because anyone who drags her mama and her daddy in public can't possibly love her as their child. That cut deeper than any insult. It was no longer just a battle of words, it was a permanent fracture. And the fact that Lil Scrappy still tried to dance in the middle made it worse. Every time he defended Bambi, fans accused him of betraying Erica Dixon and failing Emani Richardson. Every time he defended Emani Richardson, Bambi accused him of letting his ex control his household. The tug-of-war was tearing him apart, and for the first time, Lil Scrappy looked powerless in a story he was supposed to lead. By now, Emani Richardson had become the voice of the feud, the face of the fallout, and the one person who refused to back down. She reminded everyone that she wasn't chasing drama for cameras. She was simply tired of seeing Bambi lie, tired of seeing her mama disrespected, tired of hearing whispers about things she knew weren't true. She said she didn't want apologies. She didn't want reconciliation, she wanted silence. "Stop speaking on me. Stop speaking on my mama. Leave us alone." Those words landed like a gavel in a courtroom, closing the case in front of millions of witnesses online. And yet, the war wasn't over. Because as soon as Emani Richardson closed her live, the fans turned their attention to Bambi, daring her to respond. Would she come back with another shady confessional? Would she drop another diss track that nobody streamed? Would she try to clap back at an 18-year-old who had already chewed her up on camera? Or would she finally sit in silence and accept the loss? The world waited, hungry for the next move. What no one could deny was that the feud had transformed the family. Erica Dixon stood taller than ever, finally vindicated after years of being labeled bitter. Emani Richardson was now a grown woman with her own voice, dragging Bambi harder than any cast member ever could. Bambi was left scrambling, her image cracking under the weight of receipts, age exposes, and years of unfinished tension. And Lil Scrappy, the man who once held the center, now looked like a spectator in his own story, watching as the women around him defined his legacy. By the end, the line that echoed the loudest was still the one that started it all. Every time you mention my mama, I'ma chew you up, because no matter how many interviews Bambi gave, no matter how many confessionals she filmed, no matter how many weak diss tracks she tried to push, nothing could erase the fact that Emani Richardson had already dragged her into reality TV history. And everyone knew the final showdown was coming. The reunion stage, the lights, the cameras. Emani Richardson, Erica Dixon, Bambi, and Lil Scrappy would all sit face to face. And when that day came, no producer, no edit, and no green screen would be able to save the truth from exploding. Save the truth from exploding.